G'day guys, and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I'll be going over my Australian lineup for the Pacific Championships, or what I should say, my best Australian lineup for the Pacific Championships. Now obviously we saw the extended squad get named already. A few players have dropped out of that squad, but I'm going to go through who I feel would be the best 17 to, say Australia make the final against New Zealand. This is the team I would name for that important clash. Now, some of these players will have asterisks near their names due to injuries and stuff like that. There's a lot of question marks. So I'll give you another option if those players are to be ruled out. But without further ado, let's jump into this one. If you could, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the growth of the channel. Now let's get into it. My fullback, I have named James Tedesco. Now you could flip a coin and pick Tedesco or Edwards. I think both will do a job there. I've gone Tedesco. The experience, I think, will play a massive role in it. I know Dylan Edwards played for New South Wales this year. I get that. That's his jersey now. But I do feel Mal Meninga will side with James Tedesco this season. I think Tedesco has been incredible. I do think he gets fullback of the year, and I do think that that is how Meninga will select it. The wingers, I've got Xavier Coates for one of my wingers. I think he is pretty much locked into that spot. He is an aerial threat. He is a damaging winger as well. I feel a little bit heartbroken that he didn't get selected for Papua New Guinea and that he will likely play for Australia. Now, that could change. He might pledge his allegiance to Papua New Guinea, but I don't see that happening. Also, guys, on Papua New Guinea, I did say that I would do a Papua New Guinea video like this. I may actually change that to Samoa. The reason being, I had my Papua New Guinea squad set. There's injuries. Obviously, Xavier Coates now not there. I'm going to have to do a few tweaks to it, have a look at who I can put in positions and stuff like that. So I am going to go away from the Papua New Guinea one for now, and I'll probably do a Samoan one. But anyway, back to the team. Zach Lomax is my other winger. I do think he gets Winger of the Year at the Dally M's this year. So I think him and Coates are pretty much locked in to those wing spots. In the centres, I think these are the two best options for Australia. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, incredible season for the Dolphins and for Queensland as well. Despite, obviously, the result, he still had very strong performances. Tom Trbojevic, he's got to be in this team somewhere, in my opinion, if he is healthy. If he is not healthy, I do think they go with Bradman Best. The halves, Munster and Cleary, the obvious two options. Munster, in my opinion, when he is on, he's the best 5'8" in the comp. And I think Nathan Cleary is the best player in the world, to be honest. So both these players need to be in the team. If they are healthy, if they are not healthy, I think they go with the Queensland halves pairing of Dearden and Daly Cherry Evans. I think that is the right option if Munster and Cleary are out. The front rowers, again, I'm going to the Queensland pairing here. I'm going Ruben Cotter, I'm going Lindsay Collins. I think these two are the two best options to have start, especially with Payne Haas out. I think these are the two that get the 8 and the 10 jersey in the big game. Harry Grant is my number 9. You could go with Reece Robson, and I wouldn't push back on you, but I do think Harry Grant, when he is fit and firing, he is the best 9 in the comp, and it's not close. My second rowers, I think one you can pretty much lock in is Angus Crichton. I don't see anybody taking that 11 jersey off him. And my number 12, I'm going Liam Martin. I know that's a bold pick there to a degree, because you've got players like Cameron Murray, you've got players like Hudson Young that could get that jersey. Jeremiah Nanai is another good shout as well, but I am going to stick with Liam Martin there. I do think that he gets that number 12 jersey. And the number 13, I think, goes to Martin's teammate, Isaiah Yeo. I think he's, for one, the most consistent lock in the NRL. He will give you an 8 out of 10 every single week. I also think he is the best lock in the game. Cameron Murray, he's an incredible lock. So is Paddy Carrigan. But I just think this jersey deserves to go to Isaiah Yeo. The bench. All right, so the number 14 jersey, there's a few players that could lock that one in. Reece Robson is a good shout. So is Ben Hunt, but I am going to go with Connor Watson. I just think Connor Watson offers so much. Especially if there's an injury, like Harry Grant can go the full 80. If we need to slot Watson in to another position, he can play in the backs, he can play in the halves, he can play in the forwards, he can pretty much play anywhere. He is the perfect 14 in my opinion. Outside of a player that's not named in the extended squad, that is Tyron Wishart. I would love to see Tyron Wishart get an Australian jersey, but it is what it is. We work with what we've got. I think Connor Watson will do a damn good job. Next up, my number 15, Cameron Murray. He's got to be in this squad somewhere. You could start him over Martin. You could potentially start him over Yo. You could even put him in the front row, I guess, but I think the impact off the bench is going to be very important, and I think he will offer a lot there. Paddy Carrigan is my other pick here off the bench. Another player that can play up front. He can play at lock, and he can play at the second row as well if need be. So I think Paddy Carrigan's got to be there. And then to wrap it all up, Mitch Barnett. I think he's an incredible player. He deserves to be in this squad somewhere, and I've got him as my number 17. He can slot in to the front row, to the second row, and if we're desperate, which we shouldn't be, with all the players that I've named here, he could also play 13. But guys, I'd love to hear your opinions. Drop it down below in the comments. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.